Hello, I am Listeners and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I like to take a closer look at the ultimate weapons and rate them. And ultimate weapons are a brand new addition to the game, and every character has at least one ultimate weapon, but most of these are free to play as we get ultimate medals from the event tower, and when we get 100 of them we can buy one ultimate weapon. But these medals are a limited currency, meaning we cannot buy all ultimate weapons for all characters now, so we have to prioritize and choose what could be most useful for us. But I'm going to take a look at all those weapons and make a tier list where I think they belong. However, my tier list is going to be rather unusual because it would be unfair of me to rate those ultimate weapons alone, so I rate them depending on how each character can benefit from them and how useful they can be overall. Cloud's ultimate Bastard Sword deals 1000% non-elemental damage and decreases physical and magic attack of a single enemy for 30 seconds, and it also has 20 boost ability potency and 20 PDEF. So ability potency will buff Cloud's damage and DPS at full stance, but his ultimate ability is amazing for almost every battle in the game. Really a great ultimate weapon for Cloud that not only boosts his DPS but also gives you the ability to reduce enemies' attacks, so it's kind of like one-time high potency Kuja. So I think let's put the Bastard Sword in E tier because it's a really good weapon and its utility is very versatile and will be useful in almost every battle in the game. Aerith's ultimate Guardstick casts a 50% heal, applies a very short regen, and most importantly removes attack debuffs from the whole team. And it also has 20 heal and 20 MDEF, both amazing R abilities. And while that removal of attack debuffs will be situational, you still have a very nice free heal per battle and some very good R ability boosts. So I'm putting Aerith's weapon in A tier because while that attack debuff removal is very situational and there have been barely few bosses that would debuff your attack, you still get that 50% heal in every battle, so that's very useful. Tifa's ultimate Lair Gloves deal 1000% non-elemental damage and increase both physical and magic attack of all allies with mid potency, and then also have 20 boost ability potency and 20 MDEF, which are also great as Tifa will get some damage increase at full stance, and 20 MDEF is huge against any magic boss, so her ultimate is definitely solid as it's a free damage increase for at least 20 seconds for the whole team. So I'm putting Tifa's weapon in A tier as well because yes, it's mid potency, but it's a free attack buff for all characters and it will be useful literally in every battle. Barret's ultimate Gatling gun grants a high potency physical shield to the whole team and a tiny physical heal, so it's pretty much exactly the same as Agitation on Assault Cannon. It also has amazing reinforcement abilities with 20 PDEF and 20 HP, which should make it much easier to have Barret even without his Shinra outfits, because 20 HP on this weapon is a huge deal. You could pair it with his Gear Voucher outfit, which has heal there, and a support healer Barret will be really great with this setup. But Agitation with PDEF buff is very situational and won't be useful in every battle, but those R abilities are great for Barret. So I'm putting Gatling gun in B tier because while it's a very nice weapon, his weapon ability is very situational, so if you're fighting against a magic boss, it will be useless. Nanaki's ultimate Lyre Collar casts a small 27% heal and applies regen for 12 seconds, so it's pretty much exactly the same as Therapeutic Touch on his collar, but it also has 20 heal and 20 PDEF, which are substantial boosts to his stats, and it's always a free heal in a battle. So I'm putting Nanaki's weapon in A tier because Nanaki is always a support, meaning that if you're using Nanaki, it's most likely in a horde battle, and having that free heal and regen can really save your run. Yuffie's ultimate 4-point Shuriken deals 1000% non-elemental damage and increases both physical and magic attack with a high potency for 30 seconds. However, this attack increase is only for Yuffie and not the whole team or any other character. Then it has 20 boost ability potency and 20 MDef, which are both nice, as ability potency would increase Yuffie's DPS at full stance, but I think this ultimate ability is one of the weakest ones, and it will be only useful if you are using a DPS Yuffie, as it's a self buff, so you can't even choose any other character to apply those buffs. So I'm putting Yuffie's weapon in B tier because she is selfish and buffs only herself, while Yuffie isn't really the greatest DPS in the game either. Cait Sith's ultimate yellow megaphone increases limit gauge by 30% and casts a tiny bonus heal on a single ally, and it also has 20 buff debuff extension, 20 pdef. So at first glance you could say his ultimate ability is quite disappointing, but in some certain situation it might give you a big advantage, because 30% on a long charging limit break is a huge progress. So you could find yourself in a situation where you really need a limit break very soon to finish off a boss, or in a ranking battle to deal more damage. So I think this might be an underrated ultimate ability. So I'm putting Cait Sith's weapon in B tier, because while his ability can be very good, in some certain situations, Cait Sith isn't a great character unit currently, and it's just rarely ever used. Vincent's ultimate Quicksilver deals 1000% non-elemental damage and increases Vincent's limit gauge by 40%, and also has 20 boost ability potency and 20 pdef. Similar to Cait Sith's ultimate ability, this one is actually very good because Vincent has long charging limit breaks, and while his weapon abilities shorten the charge time, this ultimate ability might be very good for Vincent. 40% to get Berserk faster for that extra high attack buffs. It's very good for him. So I'm putting Vincent's weapon in E tier because Vincent's limits break gimmick, spinning up his limit gauge to get his overpowered limit breaks, is amazing. If you're using Vincent very often, I would say this ultimate weapon is one of the best weapons we have so far, because Vincent with his kit is just overpowered in what he has so far. Zack's ultimate Type 99 Longsword deals 1000% non-elemental damage and decreases physical and magic defense with high potency for 30 seconds, and has 20 boost ability potency and 20 MDef. It's a very good supportive ultimate weapon for Zack to quickly lower both defenses to use limit breaks or when you want to deal more damage, but also boost Zack's DPS, and that's MDef is great for magic bosses. So I'm putting Zack's weapon in E tier because it's a very versatile weapon, and those defensive debuffs will be very useful in almost every battle. Glenn's ultimate personal style grants a high potency shield for all allies for 20 seconds and a tiny heal, but also has 20 MDef and 20 HP. Great are abilities with that HP, and while his ultimate ability might be situational, it's a free magic shield that you might find yourself in need of. So I'm putting Glenn's weapon in B tier just because it's very situational. It'll be very useful in battles like Ramo EX or Floor B100s, but if you have a physical boss similar to Barret's ultimate, this ability will be useless. Lucia's ultimate V39 increases physical and magic attack of a single ally with a high potency for 30 seconds and also casts a tiny 5% heal as well, but it has 20 buff debuff extension and 20 pdef as well. It's a very good ultimate ability for Lucia, as mostly she is used as a support, and with that she could buff a DPS in your team, so it's a much better ultimate ability than Yuffie's, because you can choose a character you want to buff. So it will be useful in every battle. But Lucia's weapon, in my opinion, goes into B tier, because while the ability to give a high bouncy attack buff to a character of your choice is very nice, Lucia has a limit break that gives mids attack buffs to all allies, and you can use it very frequently as it charges very fast. And to be honest, I don't think Lucia is a great character unit currently. She can become better depending on what weapons they will give her. She is slowly improving so far, but she's still a little bit more. Matt's ultimate Broadsword Axis restores 25% HP and applies a short regen, but also removes defensive debuffs. It also has 20 heal and 20 MDef. It's an amazing ultimate ability for a lot of battles that debuff our defenses, and heal on this weapon will make Matt's heals much stronger. I have already used this weapon and I can only say it has been most useful. It really is amazing if you use Matt's very often, and especially if you don't have his healer outfit. So I'm putting Matt's weapon in A tier because it really is an amazing weapon. Most hard battles have been debuffing our defenses for a while now, so this weapon could really save your run. Sephiroth's ultimate Nameless deals 1500% non-elemental damage, and when the target is debuffed, it deals twice the damage, so 3000%. It also has 20 boost ability potency and 20 pdef. But unfortunately, I have to say that this is one of the most disappointing ultimate weapons in my opinion. At least the ultimate version of Nameless is better than the normal Nameless, which is useless, but Sephiroth's Heliacal Rising limit break deals 1000% damage, and if Sephiroth is buffed then it deals 2000% damage only at level 3, and we can charge it very fast, while we can use this ultimate ability only once per battle, so I don't really see it as much of an upgrade, and I just wish Sephiroth could have gotten a utility on it instead. But at least the stats and our abilities will still give Sephiroth a DPS boost. But don't get me wrong, if a target is debuffed, 3000% damage isn't bad at all. But if we compare it to the other ultimate weapons that bring some good utilities, in those hard battles, those utilities are very important, and you will rather die from lack of buff or debuff than lack of 3000% damage. Then Sephiroth's ultimate is rather underwhelming in this case, but overall it's still not a bad weapon. So I'm putting Sephiroth's Nameless in B tier, because while it isn't terrible, it just feels rather underwhelming compared to the other ultimate weapons. However, then we have Sephiroth's second ultimate weapon, Genji Blades, which is the first banner ultimate in a game, and it deals 2000% damage while also increasing Sephiroth's physical and magic attack with extra high potency, so 4 stacks for 30 seconds, and you can use it twice per battle. It also has boost ability potency that will buff Sephiroth's attack in max stance and interruption mastery, so after breaking sigils when you interrupt a boss, all Sephiroth's attack will do 60% more damage. This is overall an outstanding ultimate weapon for Sephiroth, as he always is a DPS, so 4 times attack buff will buff his damage by a lot, especially if you were to equip some buff debuff extension weapon to make it last longer, and you can use it twice per battle. It's really good. So I'm putting Genji Blade in S tier, and I generally think that all ultimate weapons that we get from banners will likely also go into that tier. But in Sephiroth's case, his Nameless is rather mid, but his ultimate, the banner ultimate, is just amazing. So if you use Sephiroth very often, Genji will be a much better choice. I think all those ultimate weapons are good, and while you might not always use those ultimate abilities in every battle, simply equipping a character with this weapon will significantly boost their stats, and this alone is a huge upgrade for every single character. In my case, I have huge love and respect for Matt's ultimate, because while having skipped his healer outfit, his ultimate weapon allowed me to equip 2 HP weapons and still have enough heal, something that was impossible before the anniversary, so for me, Matt's ultimate was literally game-changing. But because of how limited the ultimate medals are, we won't be able to get enough weapons for even half of the characters, because so far we have over 200 medals, and while we will still get a little bit more of them, it won't be enough for even half of the characters. But personally, I suspect that by the end of the tower event we could have enough for 3 or maybe 4 characters. So I can suggest or recommend to get ultimate weapons for characters that you use most often, or you feel like they could really need a power boost and their ultimate weapon could be just that. Personally, as I mentioned, I already have Matt's ultimate weapon, and I also got Buster Sword for Cloud, mainly to boost his stats and because I could also have a need for his ultimate ability, and because how good it looks as a skin. But I would love to get Nameless for Sephiroth, only because of how amazing those ultimate weapons look as skins with that cyan glow and flowing wisps. But because of how limited those ultimate weapons are, we have to prioritize. So if I were to get another ultimate weapon, I might likely even get one for Nanaki, because how often Nanaki is required in all those hard battles, and it's been for a while now. But yeah, all ultimate weapons are good or great and make our characters stronger. So there's no right or wrong. Not really, just some weapons seem to be better. But if you aren't using those characters often, then what good will they do? So that's what I think, at least. But I would also love to hear your opinion on those ultimate weapons and what you think of them. But yeah, so that would be all. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.